All right, guys, I'm pretty excited about this project. It's one that kind of is close to home for me because it turns out I'm nerdier than I like to admit. So what we're going to work on here for the next few classes is a spreadsheet. And that spreadsheet we're going to customize to make it into a pretty powerful calculator that will give you lots of different kinds of values depending on how you use it. So the first thing we're going to do today, we're going to take one big step today, and that is we're going to set up the first interface, the user interface that's going to drive most of what happens as we continue through this program. So what I've got here is the spreadsheet. Excuse me, the spreadsheet set up, and you can see you're going to get your own copy of this, and you'll see exactly what it looks like here. So there's two sheets here. The first one is calculate, and the second one is formulas. If you click on that formula sheet, you'll see all these different formulas and all the different kinds of figures that we're actually going to be able to use to find the area and perimeter of based on the work we're doing here. So this is, again, this spreadsheet should be able to calculate triangle, rectangle, parallelogram, trapezoid, circle, regular pentagon, regular hexagon, regular octagon area without area and perimeter without too much difficulty. And we're going to get started on this process. Today, all we're going to do is we're going to set up again, a user interface that will make it so that we can select which of those kinds of figures we want to calculate area and perimeter for. So that's the first step. So what we're going to do is we're going to start right here on our calculate sheet. And the place we want to be is right under this question. So what type of geometric figure do you want? Well, we're going to start there, and we're going to identify that list we just looked at as the list that we want to use in our dropdown. So we're going to keep this cell selected with this cell, and this is cell A2 right now. With that cell selected, we're going to go to the Data tab, and in Data, we're going to go to Data Validation. And data validation is a way to make sure that data fits within a certain range, right? A certain range. And what we want to do is we want to select from a list, right? So list from range, that's perfect, list from range. And what we need to do is select that range. So what we're going to do is click there. Let me do that again so I get a little slower. So once we got data validation open, this window open, we're going to click in this cell because this is where we want to find our validation. And then we'll go to our formulas list, and we're going to select, again, you got to click in that cell. With this cell selected, we're going to click and drag that list because we want our list, our dropdown, to be those values, right? Triangle, rectangle, parallelogram, trapezoid, circle, regular pentagon, regular hexagon, and octagon. Now, we could drag one more cell, so we can make this from A9 to A10, leaving that blank cell, this one right here underneath, in our equation, which is going to actually help us a little bit down the road. So if we're going to click and drag again, let me just do that. We'll click and drag the entire, including that A10 cell, which is the blank one underneath regular octagon. That'll help us a little bit, not tremendously, but a little bit with some formulas that we're going to write later. So we've got this formulas A2 to A10. We're going to click OK. And then right here, we can click Save. We got the list of a range, and that's the range that we're doing. Show drop-down list in a cell. We want that. We're going to click Save. And if we go back to this Calculate cell right now, you can see there's a little drop-down in that cell that we just edited. And if we click in that drop-down, you can see we can pick from any of those different shapes that were in that table that we just highlighted. So right now, we've got our spreadsheet set up so that when we click here, we can select one of those shapes that we want to find perimeter and area for. So again, this is that first step, tiny little step, but a pretty important one that's going to set up our spreadsheet to be usable as we continue to build on what it is we're doing. Okay, so make sure, because it's a Google slideshow, you shouldn't have to save, Google spreadsheet shouldn't have to save. It's going to save automatically. But once you've got that step done, get a screenshot. You can get a screenshot either with this list open or just with that little arrow there. I see the arrow, and I'll know that you've got what you need done, ready to go. That's all we're doing today for this one. It's the first tiny little step. And everything else we'll kind of build on that, and we'll make a pretty powerful spreadsheet here in pretty little time. Pretty excited to see what you guys do. Again, screenshot exit ticket.